Lower the expectations. For example, we have in some societies the mahar is too high. My God, which 19, 20-year-old, even 25-year-old has enough, to pledge a mahar, a dowry, a marital dowry, a mahar, a sadaq of, say $30,000, $40,000 cash immediate. Take it easy on it, because you've got to buy furniture, you've got to rent a house, you've got to pay for the wedding, you've got to go on a honeymoon. I mean, who's got... So take it easy on the mahars. Maybe put a bit of a deferred amount later. Make it easier. There are some societies like my community, the Lebanese, Middle Eastern community, we kill it with the mahar. 100,000, 150,000. Yeah, I'll talk about it. It's just really tough, Another thing we can look at is...
Can I quickly ask, is there a number you'd recommend? Would you say Australia, guys under 25? Because we barely worked full time. Yeah. I'm trying to say...
There's a bit of controversy online about that stuff.
I would like your opinion, because it's not something where I pick.
All right.
Isn't it more like...
It's for the female to choose. That's why he's...
So since we opened up the issue of the mahar, the issue of the mahar in marriage, what is the mahar? The mahar is a bridal gift, if you like. In Christianity, they call it dowry. In India, they also call it a dowry or a dawah. But the way they do is different to what it means in Islam. The dowry is usually given to the father or to the family of the girl. It's not even the girls. In Indian culture, the non-Muslim Indian culture, the girl's family gives it to the man, to the groom, or to his family. In Islam, the dowry is what the bride requests. She is the one that sets it and requests it. Her father, however, is representative of her, so she's not the one that goes out and speaks about what she wants, because that could be that'll be probably embarrassing for her. It's uncomfortable for her to say. So her father is the one that speaks on her behalf, and he advises her, but he lets her know. Some fathers, they don't even ask their daughters. I've done marriages for people where the bride and groom have no idea what a mahar is and what it is and what's going on. They go, I don't know, my parents, whatever they agree to. So, but hold on, mahar means the groom. You have to give, you have to pay that, you have to settle that, you have to give it to the bride sooner or later. You don't know you don't know what he owes you. So I don't know what it is. So we have to talk about what mahar is. The girl chooses it. She's the one that sets it. Obviously, she's got a give and take with her father, takes the advice of her father and her mother, her family. They talk about it among each other. And then you look at the situation. You look at the groom. What is the groom of good character? Is the groom of good religion? Which means, what's religion? It means that you've studied you've looked on his social media, you've seen what kind of friends he hangs around with, you've seen how he is dynamics with his family. You see that the guy has been raised in a reasonably good Islamic environment. He does the basics of the religion and stays away from the major sins. He's got some good religion. He fears Allah. You remind him of God. You find that he respects it, right? So that's good religion. Good character is trustworthy and honest. He's not going to leave your daughter on the streets when things go rough. He will get up. He's not lazy. He will do. He'll clean the streets. He'll do anything for his family. That's trustworthy and honest. Everything other than that is secondary. So we say we'll put a mahar on this guy because his character and religion is good, man. He's got good values. We're not going to suffer like this, inshallah. So why make the mahar so much? What can you afford, son? Yeah, parents, what can you afford, son?
Do you think that's a good question for people to ask?
Of course it is. Okay. 100%. I would ask, say, what can you afford, son? What can you do? Or I can say, look, this is the situation, her cousins and my environment, this is how much they write. But I'm not going to force that on you, son. What can you afford? I want to make it easy on you. That's if he's got good religion, good character. That's all I want. I don't want my daughter to be looked after because he's got a lot of money. I want him to look after because he's got good values. He's going to respect her, value her, look after her. He's not lazy. He's got good morals and principles. All right?
Yeah.
Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
So the idea of the mahar should not be a big issue. At the same time, the mahar should not be so little, like you mentioned it before, like Fatima. And Fatima radiallahu anha was lived 1,400 years ago. Their societies, their income, their way of living is different to ours. And really, mahar depends also on your status in society. So if you come from a wealthy family and you want to marry a girl who's from a wealthy family, obviously the mahar has to be equivalent or relative to their surroundings. In Islam, if you can't agree on a mahar, we say, well, it's like her peers, like her family environment sort of thing. But at the same time, the guy, if he can't afford that, we don't make it hard on him. Because now we've changed the marriage into a monetary thing, right? Anyway, that mahar, we talk. And I say to the fathers and the girls, please, don't make the marriage about materialism. That's number one. Secondly, focus in marriage on how the person has been raised and how you've been raised. If you can look, honestly, ideally, if you can look for someone who is similar to your own family, that's ideal. Unless your family, the family is really bad. But if my family is used to a particular culture and custom, they're used to a particular way, alhamdulillah, they're good in their deen, they're respectable, they've got good values, but our customs, our traditions, our expectations, our dynamics of how we live together is a particular way, it'll help you to get someone who comes from a similar kind of family to that.
It does make it easier.
It does make it easier.
It's only tough for the mixed people. Like, for example, me, my mum's South African, my dad's Lebanese.
That's the first, I'm talking about ideal. It's not the only one. I'm not saying this is a blanket rule. But as a beginning, we say, look for someone who's as close as you can to your family dynamics, because you'll have less issues with the families, If you can't do that, your dynamics is pretty mixed. Having somebody who's similar to your family's mindset and the way you guys run will make life easier for you and for her as well. Yeah. Because everybody knows what to do and what to expect. And if parents know what to do and what to expect as well. The third thing, like for example, I've got family members who are married to, their wives converted to Islam, and they come from an Australian, Aussie, Anglo background. They're not used to the customs traditions, but they've got good manners. They're not the fighting type, for example, argumentative type. Yes, they'll talk their opinion, but they're not the type that. So they're the type that can learn and can compromise a little bit and adapt, and that works too. Yeah. And it's not just the girl, also the boy. I had a couple who said, the wife said, my husband, he wants us to go and have a barbecue at his father's house, his whole family, all his siblings, every Wednesday evenings. Every Wednesday. I've had enough of it. I said, sister, do you want what's your priority in life? You or your family? She goes, of course my family. Your kids? Yes, your kids. Do your kids love seeing their family? Yeah. I said, all right. That's why you got married. You do some things that make your husband closer to you. And like it, love it, because you're building your family, making a better family. And then he turns around and says, you didn't ask her what we do every Friday nights. I go, what? He goes, ever since I got married to her, every Friday nights we've got to be at her dad's house. So, okay. And he goes, I don't complain. I go, why do you go? He goes, I want my wife to be happy. This is something that you give and take. So there you go. It's mutual. You've got to give and take a little bit. Marriage involves a little bit of sacrifice, a little bit of adaptation. It's never 100%. Another advice I give is, write down 6 or 7 main things that you as a person, you can never be able to tolerate if you were to go through that in your marriage. Yeah. Write down 6 or 7, not more than that. Say, you know what, me, Ashraf, me, Bilal, me, Suhail, I know myself. If I were to marry someone who is like this, or doesn't do that, or does this, just 6 or 7 of them, they are the deal breakers for me. So now you look for someone who, this is your goal now. Rather than the looks, the outside looks, look for the values that work for you. And you'll find somebody who are also looking for similar values. You will click. I think studies shown that about 7 or 8 personalities in the world basically 7 or 8 personalities are divided in the world. So among 7 billion people, you have a high chance. There's so many people with a personality that fits yours, inshallah, or a culture or a system that fits yours. But you write them down, know what you want in a marriage. What are the deal breakers? And everything else you've got to compromise.